What the going on this team, Jerry?
Bury him! Bury him!
Jerry, TJ Watt.
He is the best defensive player on the planet.
Go! Yes! Yes! We're going to fire! Steelers fans! Bang! Run it down their throat!
No! That's not a penalty!
Game over! Game over! Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
He's aggressive.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey Jerry. Jerry Don, we are entering week 8 of the NFL season. The Pittsburgh Steelers sit at a very special 5-2, and as of October 23rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the odds-on favorite to land Cooper Kupp via trade. Is Cooper Kupp a guy that moves the needle for us, Jerry?
I think so. I do. I've seen Pony's tweet today, or I think it was today or yesterday, said something about like, oh, I'd rather get Mike Williams for a 7th round pick than Cooper Kupp for a second. I would say no to that. I think Cooper Kupp, are you overpaying a little bit for a second? A little bit, maybe a little bit, but I'd rather risk it. I'd say fuck it and risk it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's still got a lot left in the tank. Still runs great routes. You know, he's not that like deep ball threat like Pickens is, but he's a guy that'll get you those 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 8s. You know what I mean? 3rd and 7s. You know, he's very good. A slot guy, really fucking good. And people are saying, oh, he can't be the slot. Well, why not? Why not? I think he fits good. I really do. I would love to get him. I think they're going to get him. I do.
Jerry, I mean, of all the times the Steelers have been linked to a player so far, between Ayuk, between Devontae Adams, and now Cooper Kupp, they were never the odds-on favorite of landing anybody. So that to me says a lot. That speaks volumes. Initially, everybody said that the Niners would keep Brandon Ayuk. That was Vegas's odds-on favorite. Brandon Ayuk stays in San Francisco. And then Vegas comes out and they say that Devontae Adams to the Jets is the highest likelihood. That's ultimately where it ends up. So for us to be the odds-on favorite, Vegas doesn't fuck these things up very often. So for us to be the odds-on favorite, it's phenomenal. But what you started with was that Pony is saying he would rather have Mike Williams for a 7th round draft pick. And I know a lot of people, on Twitter and people that are having this conversation want to say that, oh, you can't give up that much draft capital for a guy that's injured. What do you guys want? A man like Mike Williams, okay, just doesn't move the needle. That's still just kind of being half-ass committed to wanting to win a championship this year. If you're all in on the last years of Cam Hayward's career and the last years of TJ Watt's elite prime, and you have to think about a guy like Minka who's getting longer in the tooth. If you really want to say we're all in, Cooper Kupp is a guy that you go out and get that makes you signify, look, we're committed to this fucking thing. We're going to make a run this year. Jerry, the first week of the season, he had 21 targets for the Rams against the Detroit Lions. He had 14 catches, 21 targets.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's still legit, dude. And I know he's had his, injury troubles and whatnot. I get that. But I'm in the business of taking chances. I'll fucking take a chance on a lot of guys.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like the Steelers, dude, even when it came time to draft certain players and stuff like that, I mean, they took a chance on Peyton Wilson. He fell. A lot of people were like, this guy's injury prone. He looks great to me. They took a chance on George Pickens, who had, rumors about bad character, which he showed some flashes of that in the NFL already, but he's turning out just okay so far. You know what I mean? So I would take a chance on a fucking injury prone Cooper Kupp, who's 31, and he still could fucking run routes and has excellent hands and footwork.
Darnell Washington, another guy that doesn't fit the Steelers mold of guys that are, there's risk there. There's risk associated with these, but sometimes you want to win a championship. You have to roll the dice, Jerry. And Cooper Kupp, he's not just a slot guy. I think that's the number one thing that pisses me off when people say that. I went back and watched all 21 of those targets from that game against the Lions. Jerry, he lines up outside. He lines up inside. He runs slants across the middle. He runs runs out routes. He runs deep balls. This guy can run the entire route tree. This isn't just...
Oh, yeah, definitely he can.
He won the Triple Crown in wide receiving. That's yards, touchdowns, and receptions. The guy is a Triple Crown winner not that many years ago. He's only 31. I don't know why we're starting to say, oh my God, he's 31. He's not going to fucking die. Okay.
No.
He's had some injuries. Yes, I would agree with that. But I also don't know if it's going to require a second round draft pick that people think it will, because you just saw today that Nuke Hopkins goes to the Chiefs. Okay. So that's one less buyer that the Rams are going to have. I think that the Steelers might be able to give him for a third. And if you can send a third for Cooper Kupp and you can rework his contract next year, he's only guaranteed $5 million. You can rework his deal. You can figure out how to make it fit under the cap. We know we have over $80 million worth of cap space next year, somewhere around $78 to $80 million. They can make this happen. If they legitimately want to fucking prove that they're in it to win it this season, Cooper Kupp is the guy that I want. And I am more excited about Cooper Kupp than I was Devontae Adams, maybe as much as I am Brandon Ayuk, just because this guy is proven. And think about how good Russ was with Tyler Lockett.
I know.
Elite route running for a guy like Russ that can time a throw, can throw with anticipation. You throw a guy like Cooper Kupp in there, that is going to slice it up. You said third downs, that's a chain mover, Jerry. That guy is a guaranteed chain mover. I really fucking want Cooper Kupp.
The thing is this, like, what'll piss me off if we don't get him would be the Steelers saying to themselves, well, fuck it. We're putting up points now on offense. You know, we just put up 37 to the Jets. We don't need another guy. We're fine. I don't think the Steelers are fine long term. Excellent game from Russ. Excellent contributions from the receiving core.
Yep.
I'm with that last game.
Yep.
Long term, rest of the season, you got a gauntlet coming up.
Yep.
You're going to need more weapons. You got to go all in. And that would be them saying, like, hey, we're planning on, going 80% all in. We're not going to go the full 100. And then that to me is fucking bullshit. They have the money.
Yep.
They have the space.
Yep.
They can afford to give up a fucking third. And guess what? If the Rams come back and say, hey, it's just going to be 1 second round pick, I would still fucking give it up. I would. I don't care.
I still would give up the second. Let's make it very clear. I still am in favor of giving up a second round draft pick for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I think if you get 3 years out of Cooper Kupp, that doesn't hamstring you into having to take a wide receiver early in the draft then next year. If you can rework his contract, you can still probably get Pickens and Cooper Kupp under there. I think if you can get Cooper Kupp in the Steelers lineup, Jerry, it immediately catapults them to a 12-win football team, a team that has a legitimate chance, not just in the AFC North to win it, but in the complete AFC with how well the defense is playing. This to me would be one of those moves where if nothing else, they are significantly better going into next year, even with a second round draft pick. You're not getting a Cooper Kupp in the second round next year, no matter what.
That was an alert. That was a Steelers alert.
Don't do this, Jerry. Don't do this.
No, I got the different vibration for the Steelers alert. No, that was Steelers Network. Shit. All right. Anyway, what I will say is this: we're recording this Wednesday. Right now, we drop on Thursday.
Yep.
The Rams play Thursday night against the Vikings.
Yep.
If I'm the Steelers and I want Cooper Kupp, I am not letting him play in that game.
I agree.
am not. I am getting him today or tomorrow before the game. And I think that will tell you a lot. And I don't think it'll tell you everything, but I think it would tell you a lot.
You know what the best part is? We play a Giants team that's not very good on Monday night. So if you trade for Cooper Kupp, maybe he can play Monday, but you don't even have to rush him in, because then you have the bye week, and then you can have him for the Commanders. So technically, if he's still recovering from the ankle, he has this week off, then a bye week, and then he's ready to go. Can learn the playbook, can get some practice reps in. Now is the time. If they're trading for him, I really want it to be right now.
Today or tomorrow before the game. Why would they want to risk Cooper Kupp playing another game? Why not just let his ankle heal up 100% fully? He'll be good to go. You want him on your team. You don't want him playing right now on Thursday night, which is today, but we record on Wednesdays, but still.
And Jerry, for me, it's that the offense has finally shown life for the first time in so many years. I'm gonna read you a stat that I came across today. Arthur Smith, in his first 7 games with the Pittsburgh Steelers, has 2 400-yard games of offense. Matt Canada had 0 400-yard games in 3 years total.
crazy. I know. I seen that stat. Fucking insane, dude.
I mean, if you can't see that the Steelers are trending in the direction towards a championship, I tweeted something yesterday and got a lot of pushback because I said I just think that they have so many young weapons: Keanu Benton, Joey Porter Jr.'s, Nick Herbigs. You're looking on the offensive side of the ball; they have great young offensive linemen. Mason McCormick, I think, has been great. Zach Frazier has been great. You know, you're looking at they have a lot of young pieces, but they have a lot of old veterans who are also still contributing at a high level. The team is littered with talent across the board. Russell Wilson, if he continues to build on what he did Sunday night against the Jets, I don't see any reason why you can't think that they at least have a chance to make a deep run or to consider winning a Super Bowl. And if you remember 3 years ago, Jerry, we would go out and we played teams like the Eagles, the Bills. They're putting up 35 on us, 38 on us. We're hardly scoring. We're getting blown out. Okay. And then last year, we go through a season where we're keeping games closer. We're not getting blown out nearly as much. We're winning some tight games. You know, we lose some shitty games through the middle stretch when we dealt with injuries and you had to play Trubisky and so on. But you're not really blowing teams out. So year one, you're getting blown out. Year two, you're winning closer games. And now this year, we had back-to-back blowouts. We blow out the Raiders. You blow out the Jets. The Steelers are getting to be one of those teams that can run a team right out of the fucking stadium now. They're blowing teams out. Overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC have the second best point differential. The Bills are plus 63, the Steelers are plus 60, and the Chiefs are at plus 43. If you can't see that the Steelers have the type of team that can blow a team out, but a defense that can keep it so low that you can win a game late and really take handle of things, you're just not seeing how our team is trending. The Steelers are trending towards a team, Jerry, that can be very good late in the season. I don't give a fuck who they played. They're 5-2, but they are dominating teams, and we haven't seen that in so many years.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know we haven't seen it, which fucking stinks, but now we get to see it, and it's fun. Steelers football is fun again, and I think we're definitely going to see that Monday night, you know, leading into the Giants game. Giants, pretty solid defense. I would say that. Pretty fucking solid defense.
Yep.
Dexter Lawrence is a machine. We got our hands full there. I think it's a big Jalen Warren type of game. Little dink and dunk to Jalen Warren. I think you get him out in space. I think he could do damage on the outsides. Very big on Warren this week. Najee's been playing great. Pickens, I think, you know, Russ and that connection is going to be great. Do you know anything about Roman Wilson?
Oh my God.
What is going on? We have to. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Just before we recorded, I was reading Kabuli. Kabuli says, I have no idea what's going on with Roman Wilson. I don't know if he can't figure out the playbook, if he has closed doors issues, because anytime he practices, he says the guy looks excellent. So I have no idea what's going on with Roman Wilson. That to me is one of the most mind-blowing things.
It is.
I mean, you took him early in the draft. He's a third-round draft pick. It's not like the guy has no pedigree coming out of college, has played a ton of snaps, you know, when he played at Michigan. I had high hopes for him, and now Tomlin's basically acting like the guy just has no ability to play football, or that something is wrong with Roman Wilson.
The way he answered that question when they asked him about Roman Wilson was very awkward.
Yeah.
It made it seem like he did something bad.
Right. And that does not strike me as the type of guy that's fucking up behind closed doors. So
I don't understand it.
That, to me, is one of the biggest head scratchers that you're looking at with the Steelers, because it's not as though that wide receiver room is so crowded the guy can't get a helmet.
No. Yeah, no. No. Also, I want to say this. I felt so bad for one of my buddies. He had a 12-leg parlay to win $9,000 something off of $10.
Oh.
You know what the last leg was?
Roman Wilson.
Calvin Austin over 1.5 catches.
And he has that little drop at the beginning of the game.
That fucked him. I was like, oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. He's like, dude, it's probably the worst beat of my life. I think they got to get him involved a little bit, especially if you're not going to have Roman Wilson.
Yep.
And I know Russ loves to throw that deep ball. They got to start stretching the field with Calvin Austin a little bit, you know?
Yep.
Getting him down the field, you know, because teams are going to start to pick up on, okay, if George is on the outside, you know, they're looking for a deep shot on whatever, it's second and long or whatever. You got to be careful with George, but, you know, Calvin Austin would be a good guy to, like, have in the slot and then, you know, streak down the field. I want to see him start to a little bit more production from him. We need it, especially if we're not going to get Kupp.
And the play you're talking about, your buddy loses $9,000 on. That's an easy little crosser route. Russ hits him right in the numbers. There's no defender there. The ball shoots right through his arms and he drops it. That's the type of play. Cooper Kupp is making that play.
Yes.
No doubt about it. But those are the little types of things where I get it. We have high hopes for a guy like Calvin Austin. You want to see him play great. We want to see him improve. We want to see him put up better numbers and get looks and get touches. But sometimes you just have to bring in somebody that's a little bit more qualified to play the position. It's no slight to Calvin Austin. I have high hopes for the guy, but I just think that that's where you could really use somebody that is a chain mover like a Cooper Kupp.
What do you think the holdup is? Because when the Chiefs did what they did this morning, going to get Hopkins, right? The Steelers should have been like, because the Chiefs were interested.
Yep.
They reached out to the Rams. It's public already.
Yep.
The Chiefs just weren't willing to eat some of his salary.
Yep.
So that was the deal breaker there. When the Steelers seen that, they should have been like, okay, well, teams are trying to get him. Let's go make this happen now.
And
what's the holdup?
What if the answer to that is what you're saying? The holdup is that his value, his price tag comes down the closer you get to trade deadline. If the Rams really want to dump him, he's going to be cheaper as you get there. We know that Omar Khan, as much as the guy, we love to hype him up, he just likes to fleece people. Sometimes he doesn't want to overpay and he wants to wait it out to the very last minute. And I think that can cost you sometimes.
Exactly. That's the thing, Kev.
I agree.
It could come back to bite you in the ass.
We can't afford to if you really want to think that they're a Super Bowl contending team, they have to add somebody at the wide receiver spot. I mean, they have to add somebody. Mike Williams, while I would take him in a heartbeat, no doubt about it, don't get me wrong, that doesn't move the needle the way a Cooper Kupp would, and I think the Steelers know that. You have to think Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan know that. So it could just be more so that also maybe the Rams want to see if they can win a game tomorrow night, and then they're going to get Puka Nacua back, it looks like, next week. So maybe they're not ready to quit on their season entirely and they want to see how tomorrow goes. There are some other moving variables. Just because the Rams say they're fielding calls doesn't mean they're automatically going to ship him either.
Yeah, no, that's true. Why open it up though? Why open that door?
Right?
Because they are fielding calls.
Right. Oh yeah.
Teams are talking to them. You know what I mean? So clearly there's some sort of interest to let them go. Like, why even open that? I don't know. I think this should have happened already. I really do. I know. I'm not gonna say it because it just never works out for us because I feel like this year has been terrible to us with wide receiver talks and whatnot. But I just have a different feeling about this one. I think it's gonna get done today or tomorrow. I do. I do.
Jerry, it's not like...
I don't think they want him to play in that game. That's the only thing I could think of.
When the odds came out that he is the favorite, it was like minus 135 or something. So it's like heavy favorites in terms of him getting moved going to the Steelers. Like, that's not a small number. Minus 130. What was the
number?
Minus 135.
Oh, yes, that's some juice behind that, yeah.
So they're believe it's not a plus juice. Like, they're genuinely believing that he has a good chance of ending up in Pittsburgh, which would fucking excite the shit out of me as far as what we're trying to do. Jerry, let's, one thing I do want to look at because it comes back to the offense. And while we are saying that we need more points, the last 3 games, we're averaging 28.7 points per game.
That's what you need to win a Super Bowl.
What did we say, Jerry? 26, 27 points. That's what you're going to have to do. Every Super Bowl team, we say this so often. If you're new to the show, Super Bowl teams that have won a Super Bowl in like the last 15 years, their offenses over the course of a season have averaged between 26 and 27 points per game. We say that if you're going to be a Super Bowl winning team, you're going to have to win that type of, you're going to have to score that many points at some point throughout a season. You're going to have to show the ability that you can do that. We're showing that now. So Arthur Smith, that's one guy I want to shine some light on because it looked like we started slow. I didn't love a lot of the conservative play calls early with Justin Fields. And, now looking back on it, maybe they were just easing him into it. Also, Arthur Smith is figuring out what he has, figuring out how to use what he has. I thought the last 2 games, the play calling has been much better, both from a run standpoint and the play action. Jerry, the play action with Russell Wilson was absolutely
deadly.
Money
deadly,
on Sunday night.
The thing is this, too. What I love about, what Russ said in his press conference when they were talking to him about the early struggles in the first quarter, he said after, like, that third drive, he just came to the sidelines and talked to Tomlin and Art and was just like, it's coming. I'm heating up. Just wait. I'm heating up. I could feel it. And sure enough, he was. Sure enough, he was. So, I think, Russ is fully bought in. For the first time in a couple years.
Yep.
I feel like that relationship in Denver was not good at all. It ended poorly.
He's reinvigorated. He looks reinvigorated.
Yeah, I think he got that second win. He got that spark again. You can just see it. And I feel like the team rallied around him incredibly well after that game. They were all hyped next to him and whatnot. So, dude, I know we don't want to get too high, but I do have high hopes, man. I have high hopes for this offense, dude. I have high hopes for this defense, man. I'm going to stay even keeled, but dude, they look really fucking good.
I'm not staying even keeled, Jerry. I don't give a fuck. I live for this at 5-2 with a 2-5 dog shit Giants coming to town Monday Night Football, where we never lose on Monday Night Football. Knock on wood. That is a chance to go 6-2 to the bye week. This is everything. When we looked at the schedule from the beginning, this was everything we wanted. 6-2 to the bye week. You are in such a great position. You add another wide receiver. The team is rounding out. You're starting to get healthy again, Jerry. This is the most optimistic I think we have had the ability to be in many years. Now, we fabricate optimism in years past after a game.
Yeah, this isn't. No.
This is real. This is genuinely in my heart. I believe that this team can go play anybody in the AFC, and depending how well the defense plays that day, we have a chance to fucking win the game. And I don't know that I've said that in a while, and people are going to kick back and be like, whoa, yeah, who have you beat? You haven't beat anybody. I mean, fuck, you play who's in front of you. And while I still think that they could have won one of the Colts or the Cowboys game, you still play who's in front of you, man. And the defense, Jerry, we're only giving up 14.4 points per game. No matter what in the NFL, giving up 14-4, I don't give a shit who you played. That is a special number. That's a type of number that can carry you through, especially with the offense that's starting to click right now like it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should be at the top of the league with that number.
Oh, we're number 2.
Who's number 1?
Chargers.
Okay, fair. Okay, yeah. Top 5. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I think I wouldn't say they have their hands full with the Giants coming into town. I think Daniel Jones makes a lot of mistakes. You just can't let that guy beat you with his legs because he can. Malik Neighbors is a problem. He is a really fucking good wide receiver. That matchup is going to be super fun to watch. Joey Porter, Malik Neighbors, that's going to be awesome to see. Joey Porter's been quiet this year. He had a couple games where he struggled a little bit, but he locked in. I thought last game he played pretty well. I wouldn't say perfect, but he played pretty damn well. So that's a bright spot there. Beanie Bishop, you got the confidence now. Seems like he's stepping up a little bit. I do think when Cam Sutton comes back, though, he will be playing
I agree.
a lot.
I agree.
I would say that.
And, that will be a great rotation. Joey Porter, I thought he played pretty damn well against the Jets because they have so many weapons. You know what I mean? And oftentimes he's going to be in singles, and I thought he played pretty great.
That's the thing, Kev. You can't always just shut someone down completely.
You're right. It doesn't happen. In today's NFL, that doesn't happen, especially going against Aaron Rodgers. The chemistry that Aaron Rodgers has with Devontae Adams. I have nothing bad to say about Joey Porter. I thought that he's played much better the last 2 weeks versus he did the 2 weeks prior in the Colts or the Cowboys game. You mentioned Beanie Bishop. When I watched that game back, Jerry, Beanie Bishop did something that I have been begging Steelers cornerbacks to do for so many years. Back to the Antoine Blake days, the Artie Burns days, Ross Cockrells, guys that would just never get their head around in coverage. They're fucking running blind down there, throw their hands in the air, the ball comes over, the receiver catches it. They're not even looking back at the quarterback for the ball. On both of his interceptions, if you watch it back, what he does is he always has his head around towards Rodgers. The first one, the one-handed interception over the middle, what a fucking play. I mean, what a play from Beanie Bishop to make that, but it's because he has his eyes around to the quarterback. And then on his other interception on the left sideline, he just barely tips it. It hits off of Garrett Wilson, bounces back to him. Both of those plays are made because he's getting his head around to the quarterback. Whoever, either he has that naturally or they're coaching the secondary to be better about getting their head around to the quarterback. But fucking finally, it is about time we have a secondary that is willing to look back back instead of just throwing their fucking hands in the air like idiots and either drawing a penalty for not turning around or for, the receiver makes the play anyway. That's a big difference between great secondary play and just average secondary play, in my opinion. Beanie Bishop, man, I am very, very happy that he had as big of a game as he did, especially knowing you are going to get Cam Sutton back here in 2 weeks, because all that depth adds up over the course of a season. You need all these guys to contribute to the ultimate goal if you want to win a championship. I'm hype as shit for what Beanie Bishop showed us.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I know, is Jackson going to be out?
So he should play. Tomlin said in his presser yesterday, Dante Jackson would be considered minor, and he could have come back in that game Sunday night. They said he was probable to return. Just a little shoulder. Tomlin said it'll limit him early in the week, but he should play for the game on Monday night. You're also gonna get possibly Cordero Patterson back for the Giants game.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah,
Tyler Matakevich, the Dirty Red, you're going to get Red back as far as the special teams is concerned. We're starting to get healthy. You would think after the bye week, maybe you get Herbig back. That will have been a month without Nick Herbig. And that to me, as much as we wanted to say, okay, you can survive with Herbig and no Highsmith, I really do think you want to have all of them healthy, because I think you see that, yes, Alex Highsmith has a specific set of tools, Nick Herbig has a specific set of tools, and TJ Watt is TJ Watt. You want to have all of those guys rotating in. We're getting to a point now where, barring any major injuries, we're starting to find a rhythm. The offensive line is starting to gel. We're starting to get healthy on the defensive side of the football. The arrow is trending north for us right now, Jerry. Let's talk about the special teams, though.
Yeah, unreal, man. Danny Smith's doing a great job, man. I mean, you've seen it over the last couple years, man, where we're just blocking these field goals, dude. It's fun to see, and I think it's fucking bullshit. And I was talking about it earlier on a show today, talking about football and officiating and whatnot. Mm-hmm. If you have this rapid replay review, how do you not use that in that scenario? Like, how does that happen? And Tomlin was right in his presser when he said, "Yep, that went from being an 8-point game and it should have been a 9-point game. So it's different. The way you're playing is different, between an 8 and a 9. You got 1 possession, 2 possessions. It's a lot different, So the Steelers got screwed. This is, I think, the second or third time this year where New York has said to Tomlin, because Tomlin's on this committee with them and whatnot, where
competition committee.
Hey, sorry, that was on us. That was a bad call. This is the second or third time this year. It's fucking bullshit. They got to figure this out.
And you know what pisses me off the most about it? So we have griped a little bit that Minka's maybe not showing up on the stat sheet as much as we would like. And I think Minka, watching the games back, Minka is still putting himself in positions where they're just not even looking at him oftentimes, or he's forcing higher throws. He's still making plays. It's just he's not making the splash plays that we've grown used to and accustomed to with Minka.
I just don't see him, that's the thing. I just don't see it.
Right, but you just saw him block that extra point that they call that back. Minka, you remember a couple years ago in the home opener, the season opener in the Bengals. Yeah, he blocks that extra point there, that field goal, late in the game to win the game for the Steelers. Minka is doing those types of things that just aren't showing up. And New York fucked him there. So the officiating screws him there. And then in that Colts game, remember they call the unnecessary roughness on him. He gets screwed on that penalty. And that's another one that New York had come out to Tomlin and said, yeah, that shouldn't have been a penalty. Minka is on the losing end of some shitty calls. But how many times are the Steelers going to get the raw end of this deal? This is 3 times now this season. Tomlin has said, yeah, they told me they got that call wrong. That doesn't fucking make a difference on Monday to Sunday's game.
No, yeah, it doesn't. And it's fucking bullshit, dude. I'm fucking tired of hearing about it. But, at the end of the day, we got the win. It is what it is. But I just don't want this to come to a point where, something like that happens and we lose a game by 1 or something like that.
Yeah, that's when I will riot. That's the type of shit. You remember some years ago when they were fucking Tom Brady and Portnoy and the Boston 4, the Brady 4, rioted outside of NFL headquarters? That's the type of shit that goes through my mind, because sometimes you really want to get change. You have to make it so obnoxious in the NFL's face that they actually have to want to change it. And this officiating, it's that simple. Look how fast they could review that and fix that, and they still don't. That's something I'll bitch about until they actually do get it right, because they have the technology to fix these types of things.
No, exactly. For sure. for sure.
Staying on the special teams, real quick, you mentioned that they block a lot of kicks. The Steelers, nobody has blocked more punts or field goals in the last 2 years than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Danny Smith, man, old bubblegum chewing Danny Smith. A few years ago, we were saying fire him because we thought that, the special teams sucked when they had that little shitbird from the Patriots. What the hell was his name? He muffed the kickoff the one time.
Gunner
Olszewski. Yes, how could we forget Gunner?
Yeah, he was god awful.
I feel like the special teams has really, really found its form the last couple of years. Nobody blocks more kicks. Boswell is absolutely money. I mean, Chris Boswell might be the best kicker in football. Corliss Waitman, we lose Cam Johnston in the first game. Corliss Waitman has come in, Jerry, and never once have I had to say this guy fucking sucks.
No.
That's refreshing. I was worried maybe you lose a guy, you go out and chase one of the best punters in football, but Corliss Waitman, hats off. The special teams, that's 1/3 of the game. That is one phase of the game that doesn't get enough love. The comments are saying you guys need to talk about the special teams. You're absolutely right. The special teams, to me, I harp on it all the time. That's 1/3 of the game, and the Steelers finally have an elite special teams. That's the type of shit that in the postseason or late in the season when you have to beat a very good team, a bad special teams can cost you a game. I've seen it. We have seen it so many years. So having a very good kicker, having a punter that's not going to cut your throat, having a team that can block punts and field goals, that's a massive, massive ace in the hole for the Steelers. No doubt about it.
No, definitely. And it's big, dude. And, just how it could lose you a game, it could win you a game too.
Exactly. Exactly.
One of those breakaways from Calvin Austin or something like that. I like to see that happen. Have we scored a defensive touchdown this year?
Not yet this year.
No, we haven't, right?
Not yet this year. I mean, I bet it every week. I don't make that any of my bets of the week, but I bet it every week just because they're going to get one and they're fucking due. It is how long until it happens. This could very well be the week.
Monday night.
Very well
I can
be the
picture
week.
it now. TJ strip sack. Returns it for a touchdown, hands the ball to Jerry. Front row with Kevin.
Front row. So let's discuss it. We'll get into the Giants outlook, but Jerry Don has made due on his bet. So in the first season of the Steel Here podcast, in our gambling challenge, whoever the loser is ultimately at the end of the season, the winner has getting front row seats from the loser. They have to buy the front row seats. We were going to do a road game, but Jerry is coming to town this week for the Giants for Monday Night Football. He hooked us up with very, very good front row seats in the end zone, field club seats, right where the Steelers come out of the tunnel. If they score, if you saw last week when Najee scored and he jumps into the stands, that is right where Jerry and I are going to be. So hats off.
Right side though, different side.
Yeah, we're on the right side of the goalpost. Yep.
If you're looking at the stands, we're on the right side of the goalpost. Najee, did he jump on the left side?
He jumped on the left side. Yep. So we would probably be about 2 sections to the right of that.
Yep, 2 sections to the right of that. Yep. So yeah, it'll be awesome. We'll be on the field pregame, which will be fun. That'll be awesome.
Terrible tailgate. You're going to get to meet all the fans at the terrible tailgate. Jeffrey is the guest this week. Terrible tailgate. Yep. Make sure you guys stop out there for that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun, dude. I'm excited. I haven't been to Pittsburgh in 2 years now. Last year I didn't go at all. So this will be my first game back. I'm excited. Monday night, atmosphere is going to be buzzing. I'm excited. I don't remember. Did we have field passes pregame?
No.
In Pittsburgh before?
No, the field passes we had were in Miami. So we got Miami field passes. So Jerry,
I was on the field for a Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, you were. It wasn't with me though. You were with Genesis.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Remember, you're with Genesis. That's the game you came to. It was Jets. It ended up being Kenny's first game that he got to come out and play.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, so Jerry and I have field passes before the game.
So you've never been on the field pregame before?
Not in Pittsburgh, no.
You get the JJ bump now.
This is the JJ bump. Hey, if I had to wait 3 years to collect on this bet, it is well worth it for field club and for fucking field passes.
Do
it's
I
gonna
bring
be a
a
special
sign,
day.
number 1 Rusty Ryder, maybe in the end zone, or Russ?
Yeah, you have to. You got to do something, Jerry.
Hey, if you're watching this podcast, I'm going to ask a favor, and I will pay for the favor. I need a sign. Maybe number 1 Rusty Ryder, something like that. Something to do with Russ. And please, can somebody, I've been for 2 days now trying to get a custom jersey, number 3 Steelers jersey that just says Rusty on the back. And these people, I'm trying to pay for the shipping overnight, and they're not letting me pay for the overnight shipping because it's custom. If you're in the Steelers Pro Shop and you listen to the podcast, Get me the jersey. I'll give you the money. I just need the Russie jersey.
We might be able to contact the pro shop directly, Jerry. I'm pretty sure they make custom jerseys right outside the stadium.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that they do.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. Yeah, but I don't know. Do I feel? Am I like a little kid for wanting to bring a sign, number one Russie rider, or
Jerry Dunn? You've been the number one rider since we signed the guy. I mean,
that's true.
Take a bow. You've earned it. Number one Russie fan. I mean, it's Sierra, his kids, Jerry Dunn. That's pretty much the order right there.
What are the chances we get a handshake with Russ?
Jerry, I don't know if anyone
he's a pregame type of guy.
I don't know if anyone comments on his Twitter more than you do. I mean, he has to know who you are at this point. Maybe let TJ know. Send Russ over here pregame.
But then that's the thing. I don't want. I was thinking about that, but I said to myself, I had to reel myself back in. I said, listen, if I go to TJ and I say, TJ, hook me up with Russ, I don't want TJ to feel like I got a new favorite. You know what I mean? I want TJ always to know that, I ride for TJ before anything. You know what I mean? So I'm keeping TJ out of this one.
I think TJ probably knows you're safe as far as his fandom is concerned. I'm not worried that TJ has any doubts about that, Jerry.
Also, did you see, I was looking today, PFF, and while we do shit on PFF a lot, but when it's good, I like to talk about
it.
Agreed. So it said the top 5 run stoppers in football. The top 5, 3 of them are Steelers.
Yep. Cam.
It's fucking Cam, TJ, and oh my God, was it
Deshaun Elliott?
Deshaun Elliott. Yeah, I think it was Deshaun Elliott. I think.
Yeah, it is.
Incredible, just incredible. Top 3.
That's our run defense. Let's just get into some of the stats for the Giants game. That's a great segue. The Giants,
they can't run the ball.
The Giants are 2-5. Their defense gives up 21.3 points per game. They only average 14.1 points per game. Second to last in the NFL. Their offense sucks. And I know you're worried about Malik Neighbors and what Daniel Jones you're going to get. I don't want to go crazy and say that I think we beat the shit out of them, but I mean, I really do think if the Steelers have turned the corner, this is a game they just absolutely beat the shit out of them.
I would agree with that, Kev. I would agree with that.
And in Monday night, the Steelers have only lost one Monday night game since 1991, and technically it wasn't even a Monday night game. It got moved to Monday night during COVID, so we ended up losing that game. I want to say to the Redskins, I believe it was back then. But so we don't lose on Monday night. We don't lose at home on Monday night. Like that just isn't going to happen. And so I think we have a very good chance of getting to 6-2. No doubt about it, Jerry. We're averaging as a whole 23 points per game. Like I said, giving up the only 14 points per game. So we should run them off of the fucking field.
Yeah, I mean, I would be disgusted and so mad if we would lose this game. I would be so fucking mad, bro.
Devastated. I mean, because this is, yes, you're coming off the high. You beat what I consider a good football team. I know that the Jets record does not look good.
I do too. I know people say they're dog shit. They stink. They still have so many weapons.
I know.
Dude. It's just crazy.
That's why like I'm not, I think that was a good win. I was happy with that win. I thought that was a good win for the Steelers. I thought that the defense showed that they can beat an elite quarterback that has weapons, not just beat the shit out of him. You can rush him. They blitzed well when they had to. That to me was, again, a complete team game. I want to see another one. I don't want to go into a letdown game now where they're too high. They're very optimistic that they're the best team now. And then you shit the bed. You got to go out. You got to pound them. You go into the bye week. That's what it has to be. Anything you want to add when looking at the Giants, Jerry?
No, not much. I mean, their defense is solid, like we said before. I think it's a big Warren game. I think they got to get that guy in space.
Agreed.
I think he's gonna play really well. And I just, what would you say the percentage? Does it matter how the Steelers receivers play in this game for the decision for Kupp? Do you think if we go out and we put another 30 spot on the board, the Steelers are like, yeah, we're good now. We don't need another piece,
I doubt it.
Because I'm not being that fan, because I always want to score 30, 35 points. I do.
No doubt about it.
But if we could get a little pressure on the fucking Steelers, they come out, they win the game fucking 20-3 when they should have won 35-3. I would like for them to realize, like, hey, well, we still fucking need this guy.
Jerry, we are going to be on the field pregame. We might get to see Omar Khan again. Last time we got a photo with Omar Khan.
I'm going to tell him straight up this time that Omar, come on, let's go. I mean, this has been prolonged since the offseason. Let's just fucking sign the paperwork, get Kupp in town. We need him. Or maybe make me 2 signs. I'll get number 1 Rusty Ryder and then Rusty to Cuppy.
Yeah, the Rusty to Cuppy one would just be so good, Chair. Oh, that would be so good. No, I don't think that even if they put up 30 or they play incredibly, that it's going to stop them from wanting a wide receiver, because it's what we started the show with. I think even they know that if you want to get through the gauntlet and you want to compete with the elitist teams in the AFC and in the NFL, you're going to need that one more weapon. You just absolutely are going to need that one more weapon. We're beating up on some teams that are a little bit beat up. The Jets secondary was beat up. Their defense had some issues, so you're running up the score on them. You run up the score on a shitty Vegas Raiders team. But I think really they know that if you want to contend, and you look at the Ravens, Jerry, Ravens are an absolute fucking wagon.
I know. And the thing is this, Kev, you've seen teams, and TJ Watt was at one point in the Jets game triple teamed. I mean, teams have now started to say, we're going to do our best. Our game plan is just to try to take him out.
Yep.
We don't want him anywhere near the football. They're running away from him. You see that a lot.
Yep.
So here's what I'm thinking. They're doing that with TJ Watt. Let's say Russ is starting to cook, which he is with it's one game, but he was cooking with Pickens. He does that again for the Giants Monday night.
Yep.
Teams are going to start to realize, okay, we got to take George away now. Now, what happens when they take George away? Because let's face the facts. He's pretty much one of our only options on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep, it's going to have to be Freiermuth. It's going to have to be Pat.
So why not get a fucking good number 2, number 1 wide receiver in Cooper Kupp?
Yep, and I agree, man. I could not agree more. I think that you're right. If Russ continues to trend the way that he is with Pickens, teams are eventually going to say, we got to take that guy out.
Yes,
they're going to double
100%.
him. They're going to shadow him high. You're going to have a safety over the top always. They're not going to let him beat him deep. No matter what, they're not going to let him beat him deep. And so then a lot of the big spark plays that we had on Sunday night might not exist. So you need somebody else. That's what makes us a complete offense then. You can run the ball great on the ground. You have 2 elite wide receivers. You have an elite tight end, Darnell Washington, starting to show that he could be something fucking good. And they start the game with that play action, little bloop over the top, Darnell Washington, just getting the ball in that guy's hands. He's at least picking you up 5 to 7, because when you hit him, he's not immediately going down. So that I agree. You add one more wide receiver to that room, the Pittsburgh Steelers catapult themselves. I don't care. Clip it. Call me a fucking yinzer. Say that we're getting too high. I don't care. I've watched enough Steelers football to know that they get one more elite wide receiver like a Cooper Kupp. They have the ability to make it to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. Sounds fucking crazy. I don't care. I know that. I see it. They have a well-rounded football team. They can beat anybody. Jerry. We need Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, we definitely need him. I want him bad. And I want this to happen today after we get off this podcast at some point, or tomorrow before the game. If we're going to get him, I'd rather him not play this game, but we'll see.
Let's get to the betting. So Jerry Don, you're on a fucking heater. I'll give you this. You're on an absolute heater. Not just the $41,000 that you win last week. You're beating my head in right now as far as betting is concerned. I did hit my bet last week, so I had over 18.5 points for the Steelers. I am sitting at 3-5 on the season. Jerry had the Steelers plus 1.5. He hits that bet. He also had over 1.5 passing touchdowns for Russ. He hits that bet. Jerry is now sitting at 5-4. He has a 2-game lead on me. He gets 3 bets this week. I get 2 bets. The spread is 6.5. The Steelers are favored by 6.5, which is a pretty healthy. It's the biggest number we've seen either way so far this season. The over-under is 36.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook, and the Steelers' money line is minus 278. What is your 3 bets this week, Jerry Don? You get 3 of them.
Yep. So I'm going to, I'm not going to take the money line because that is like, minus 278.
Cheating. We said we got to keep the bets around 100.
Yeah. So I'm going to do Steelers minus 6.5. So I'm going to take Steelers spread. I'm also going to take Jaylen Warren to score a touchdown.
Yep.
And I'm also going to take Jaylen Warren's over. Now it's not out yet. Rushing and receiving combined. So we'll look game day. We'll see what that number closes at. and we'll go from there. So I'm taking Steelers minus 6.5, Jalen Warren touchdown, Jalen Warren over rushing and receiving yards.
Wow.
Combined.
So you're really riding Jalen Warren. So you're not just saying you think he has a big game.
No, I see.
Like,
You know what it is? I seen the spark last week. I seen that old Warren back, so I think it's going to continue to fucking go.
he does look good, Jerry. He has some
Yeah, he
pop.
looks good.
He
Yeah,
has
he
some
does.
pop. I thought he was going to
does.
score. He was so close to scoring. They were
Yeah.
at like the 13. He got taken down at like the 2. Ultimately, they had to settle for a field goal that time. And that is one thing we didn't discuss, but a quick note. I think that's the last little hurdle I want to see. They got inside the 10 twice and had to settle for field goals. I just want to see them finish drives. Fields, that's the one area where he was finishing drives with his legs inside the red zone. I do want to see them finish drives because that to me is what makes you a juggernaut as far as offenses are concerned. You get in the red zone and you have to finish and be lethal. So Jerry takes Steelers to cover 6.5, Jalen Warren to score, and Jalen Warren rushing and receiving combined over. That line is not out yet. You can't see it, but whatever it is, ride Jerry. He is red hot. I get 2 bets this week, so I am going to take Steelers over 10.5 points in the first half. It's plus 114.
Oh, I like that.
10.5 is low number. I think the offense is going to score some touchdowns. You said last week you think they have a spark and they start fast. They didn't exactly start fast, but they still scored 13 in that first half against a better Jets team than the Giants would be. So I think 10.5 seems like a good number. And I'm also going to take the Steelers as the first team to 20. It's minus 120, so I'm taking one at plus 114, one at minus 120, so we're right around even juice across the board. The race to 20 points, I think the Steelers win in that game, so those are my two bets. I also think that's a great bet.
Yeah, and I don't know how it works. If neither team gets to 20, I don't think the bet counts.
It doesn't. No, you lose.
Oh, you lose?
Yeah, you lose the bet. They have to score 20.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
They have to score 20. There's one other bet, though. I found this. It's not a bet that I'm going to bet, but I was looking at the lines earlier today, and this is something, it's hard for me to not want to take this bet, Jerry. The bet is called Mr. Unlimited. It's under player specials. I don't know if you saw this.
Is it on DraftKings?
It's on DraftKings. Mr. Unlimited under player specials. The bet is Russell Wilson to have 100 plus passing yards in each half, plus 275.
The only worry with that bet is, I like it. The only worry is if you're blowing a team out, let's say in the second half, and you're up by fucking 3 touchdowns, whatever the case may be, 4 touchdowns, who knows, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, they could pull them, So, well, I like the bet, though. I like it.
100 yards in half, though, like the way he's connecting on the deep balls, I just see 100 yards seems so low to me. Isn't that crazy that now we're saying pretty much guaranteed we believe that Russ goes for more than 200 passing yards?
I know.
It's a great place to be, Jerry. I want to, you know what I want to end the show with, though, this week? Just for shits, just to be a fucking asshole. There's one team in the entire NFL that has not scored 20 points in a game yet this season, Jerry. Who do you think it is?
Browns.
It's the Cleveland Browns, Jerry. They're a dumpster fire, baby. All the way up the mistake on the lake, the factory of sadness. Call it everything you've heard them be called. They are bums. They are fucking bums, Jerry.
They're in hell. They're in cap hell too now.
Next year they owe them like $74 or $78 million cap hit.
They're cooked.
The year after, it's like another $78 million cap hit. They're fucked. That team is sunk. They tied everything to Deshaun Watson. He blows the Achilles. You know he's going to have a long road to recovery. The guy sucked before.
Kev, even if he didn't get hurt, he was horrible.
A bum.
I mean,
a bum.
Horrible.
They might be better off with Jameis Winston. They might be better off with Jameis Winston. And
they might.
That's why I want to be like kind of mild with how much shit I talk, because there's a high chance they're a better passing team, at least with Jameis Winston. Deshaun Watson was trash.
Oh my God, he was so bad. So bad.
Well, Jerry Don, that was a great episode. We appreciate the shit out of you guys. You finally are going to get your chance to meet Jerry. He will be at the Terrible Tailgate, Red Lot 5A on Monday. The tailgate starts at 3:30 p.m. So if you are there 3:30 p.m., you will get to see Jerry. Jeff Reed is the guest. Make sure you stop by. All you can eat and drink. You'll find the information on my socials, terribletailgate.com. We love you guys. Thank you for supporting us. It has been an incredible few weeks for the show. The show is trending very well right now, Jerry. We're starting to gain subscriptions like crazy at this point too, so we love the shit out of you guys for that. Don't forget, we will give one of our listeners $2,000 when we hit 20,000 subs, so make sure you're spreading the word. Let the people know. We appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see you here. Jerry, we're going to record Monday together after the game.
Yeah, we'll just do it from your house.
Yeah, so we'll record at my house Monday after the game. We'll get that episode out to you guys Tuesday. Can't wait to see you. We appreciate it. We'll see you here next week.
All right, see you Monday, Kev.
Later, Jerry.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.